A little tutorial about Google Forms. So first we're going to start out in Drive. We're going to hit New, and then we're going to come down here where it says More, and it should be the first one over here. It just says Google Forms, and I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And this is how it opens up. So it's going to say Untitled Form. It's going to say I have this form description, so you can put in here anything. You can put in if it's a survey, you can put in survey number. I'm just going to put number 1, that way I know. You can type in a description. You can say, please fill out my survey once a week. I will send a new one weekly. Thank you. And then you can put your name. All right, so that's just kind of like gives them a little bit of directions, just gives it a title. If I click up here, then my title, whatever I titled it here, will go here. If I want to title it something else, I can just go ahead and click on it, backspace over it, and then type on top of it. I'm going to leave it as survey number 1, just so that I know this was my tutorial. All right, so then you're going to notice that there's another box down here. This is your first question. So what you're going to do is click on it, and it has this all blue. So if I just start typing, let's start, I want their name, first and last name. So I'm going to type in first and last name. And then see how it automatically went to short answer? It's exactly what I wanted, so I don't have to worry about anything. This means if I wanted to duplicate, so say I had the same type of passage, I wanted to duplicate, or say I had the same answers, I wanted to duplicate but change the question but have the same answers, I could click on that duplicate button and it would go ahead and do that work for me. This is for the trash can, so this is to throw away the question if you don't want it. I can toggle and make this required, or I can turn it off and then this won't be required. But I want to make this required because it's going to be their first and last name, and I want to know who's completing my form. These 3 buttons give you a description. They're just kind of gives you a description box so that you can add a description to it if you want. You can validate numbers, if numbers that are greater than this, numbers that are less than this, things like that. Or you can toggle them back off, so you just have a simple first, last name, short answer. If I hit this plus sign here, it's going to add another question. So I want to know how my students are feeling today. How are you doing today? And then, so I want it to be a multiple choice. So what I can do is I can say, I'm feeling happy today. I can hit enter. I'm feeling sad today. I can hit enter. I'm feeling worried today. I'm feeling glad today, or excited. Maybe I want it to be excited. And option 5, I can actually, if I click over here, because I hit enter to enter all these in, and I don't want this one, so I can X that off. I can actually add other, and if I add other, then they're able to type in here and tell me how they're feeling. Now, this is great for an older student or an adult, but what if they're a kid? What if they're a kinder kid and I want to know how they're feeling? They're not going to be able to read these words. So I can actually add an image to this so that they can see what the word means. So I'm going to click on that picture button. Again, it's over here. I'm going to add an image. I can upload an image if I want, or I can take one from my Google Drive if I have things saved there, or I can do a Google image search. So I can search for happy emoji if I want to do emoji. I can hit happy emoji face, and I kind of like that one, so I'm going to go ahead and insert that, and then that picture is going to be right here underneath that word happy. And I can do the same thing to sad. I can say sad emoji face and find one that I want, or I can do sad GIF face. Let's see what that brings up. Yeah. I don't really like those. This is kind of cute for Happy though. That would have been really cute. I don't really like the GIF, so I'm just going to stick with emojis. Maybe I want this one. Or maybe I want this one actually. So then I'll put that in there. And I can continue to do that through this whole thing. And I can hit required because I want to know how my kids are doing today. I can go ahead and add another question, and I can ask them, what is your favorite task today or this week? That way, you know, maybe it was reading, maybe it was math, maybe it was art, maybe it was science, maybe it was outside or playing outside. Maybe I'll put that down. Okay, and I could do the same thing. I can add pictures to it if I want, or I can just leave it as words. I can hit other, and it will bring up that other box. I can put it as required, or I can make it as not required if I don't want that. Okay, so now that I have a few questions in here, I'm going to go over here and show you. So the plus sign here just means I'm going to add another question. I can actually import questions. If I have them on a Google Doc or another place, I can actually import those questions. I just hit this and then it'll ask me where do I want to import questions from. So if I had another form that I wanted to go ahead and import from, I could do that. This, I can hit another title if I want to add another title down here and make another page so that it wasn't so overwhelming. I could do that. And you would fill it out just the same way that we filled out the first title. I can hit add image here. Instead of hitting adding image somewhere else, I can hit add image here and it will put it in for my question. I can hit add a video. If I want to import a video, I can do that within this form so that my kids can watch like a mystery science video and then answer a few questions on it. This would be a great place to do that. You just click, you just find the YouTube video that you want. You can search for videos, or you can actually copy and paste the URL that you find from the web page into here. Then I can also add other sections in there to add other pages and things like that. All right, so that's those tools here. If I want to change where it goes in my drive, I can click here and select a specific folder I want to put it in my drive. I can star it if I'm going to use this all the time. I can hit star and it'll come up really easily for me in my drive. I can just hit stars in my drive and find things that I've bookmarked there. Here's where you can change your theme. Okay, so right now my theme is just a purple background. I don't have anything special. I can actually hit choose an image, and I can use themes that Google has already imported in here if I want. So say I wanted this theme, I can click that, click insert, and it will change the background colors and it will add this picture at the top. Or I can actually upload an image that I already have, and I can browse my own computer and I can find I just made a quick banner and I can put that in there. It's just a screenshot of my banner, and then I can tweak it. I can pull this in or out just to make it a little bit smaller so you don't see all the white edges, and I can shift it so it's middle, hit done, and it will put that up here. So then I can customize my form. Okay. I can also change theme colors over here. Background colors, like if I don't like that, I can darken my background color. I can add more colors. I can add custom colors over here by clicking on these and then clicking add. So then that gives you a custom color and then different backgrounds within that color family. I can change my font, but be very careful because this one is really hard for people to read. I can change it to playful, which is fine, to keep it simple that way, but I probably would be very careful on the fonts that you use. Basic is usually a pretty safe one that everybody can read on their computer. Okay? All right, so then I'm just going to X out of themes. So here's my theme, and this is where you find those themes. You click on this image. I'm going to click on preview, and if I click on preview, it's going to bring me the preview that my students would see. Okay, so you can see this. This is actually a live form. So if I filled out this information here and clicked submit, it would put it in with my other data. So be careful. Don't do that because that can actually skew your data. But this is a nice way just to kind of look at what are my students going to see when they open up my form. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my editable one. There's settings over here. So in these settings, I can actually restrict who can and cannot see this. I can limit it to one response. I can edit after submission if I want them to be able to go back and edit it, or I can leave it unchecked and then they have to request access to it, which is really good for quizzes, things like that. I can see summary charts. You know, you can allow them to see, you know, how many questions they have left, things like that. I can collect email addresses, but if I want people to be able to fill this out that maybe don't have emails, I don't want to click that. So just keep that in mind. I can show a progress bar in the presentation. I can shuffle question order. Just be careful about shuffling question order, as it will shuffle all questions. So if you have a picture of something you want the kids to read and then 3 questions after that you want them to fill out based on that reading, it's going to shuffle those maybe above the reading, and so that probably isn't a good option. But if you have just a survey, you can shuffle it so every person gets a different question at a different time. And then over here, you can actually make this a quiz and start assigning point values and allow it to be auto-graded for you, which is a great option for teachers. So you can grade it immediately after submission. You can grade it later after you've reviewed it. You know, you can give them all point values, things like that. I'm going to turn it off because this is just a survey. And then you would just click save, and then it would ask you for points and things like that if you had it on quizzes. Okay. And then over here, this is the send button. This is where you're going to either put in each respondent's email address, okay, or I can send it via a link, which is how I like to send these is via a link. So I can copy this link and paste it. I can actually shorten the URL if I want. If I want to make this link so that people can I'll show you how to do that in a minute. This link here, it's just an easy way, and then you just hit copy, and then you can put it in an email address or an email and send it out, or into your Google Classroom, or you can put it into your Google Sites, Google Docs, wherever you want to put that link. Okay. And then this is if you have a website, you can actually embed the HTML within your website, okay? So usually I use link. It's easier for me to copy and paste and send it out, okay? Now, if I am, you notice up here in this bar here, now if I'm sending this form out and I want it to force a copy for somebody else to be able to edit this before they send it to their students, I can actually backspace through edit and type in copy, and then I can copy this whole URL. Just copy it, I use Command C. I think on a Windows, I'm on a Mac, so on a Windows, I think you use Control C, and you copy it, and then you can paste that onto an email, a website, if you have like a Google website, Google Classroom, however you share it with other people. Then they will get a copy of this, but it won't edit your original copy. They can then edit for themselves and send it to whoever they want. Okay? So that's if you're like a principal, or if you are a boss and you want them to be able to edit a survey that you've pre-made for them, like maybe add a few questions or take a couple questions out, personalize it for themselves. That's how you would do that. Okay, so then these little 3 buttons say that you can make a copy, you can move to trash, you can get a pre-filled link. So all of these things, you can print it. So if you have parents who maybe don't want to fill it out online, but maybe they want to print it and mail it back to you or email it back to you, they can do that. You can add other people on here to help you collaborate on this form, things like that. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go to a form that I previously created so that I can show you what it looks like when you get some responses. Okay, so if I click over here to responses, I notice that 3 people have filled this out. So I'm going to get a summary of the people who filled it out. This is their first and last name. This is how they were feeling today. So here's my pie chart of what that looks like. And then what are they looking forward to today? And it can tell me the percentages of what people are looking forward to doing today within my class. Okay. I can also filter it by question, and if I filter it by question, you can see I can see Jane Doe's response here, and I can literally click on that and see exactly how she responded individually, or I can look at everybody's first and last name. Yep, everybody filled that one out. Let's go to the next page. This is how is everybody doing today. That's how people filled that out. So this is like as a class, each question, this is how everybody filled it out. If I want to know individual, I can click over here and I can say, oh, Jane Doe feels sad today. Oh, that's really sad. I wonder why she feels sad today. And she's most looking forward to art today. And I can go to the next question and I can say, oh, Jonna Doe is excited today. Ooh, I wonder what she's excited about. Ooh, maybe playing outside, reading. Ooh, she loves everything. Oh, she's really excited about seeing me on Google Meet today. Yay, I'm excited that is what she's most looking forward to today. Okay, you can print these out, you can trash them. But what I think is really powerful is if I want to see everything in a spreadsheet to keep data for my quizzes, to keep data for myself, for who's responding, who's not responding, I can actually click this to create a spreadsheet. It's going to say create a new spreadsheet. I can rename that if I want, or I can select an existing spreadsheet that I've opened and I can select, okay? So I want to create a new spreadsheet. I'm going to hit create. It's going to bring up a new spreadsheet. It tells me when they filled it out. It tells me their first and last name. It tells me every question I have on here and then that person, how they answered. Okay, and so I can add or change columns as I see fit. I can see who has responded this week, who's responded next week, who's responded the week after. This is where it becomes really powerful to keep data for myself, especially in these times of having to keep data of who's working on what in your classroom every day or every week, if that is required of you. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know below what else you would like me to cover. Don't forget to make a comment and let me know how this video worked for you. Thank you again. Bye-bye.